Starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Hello everyone, I'm Kiris. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, December 3rd through Saturday, December 9th, 2023. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. Sunday, December 3rd, happy birthday, happy solar return to the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, that I will love forever and eternally. Sagittarius, Ozzy Osbourne, your fans and me, we wish you nothing but the best of health and a fabulous new year ahead. We love you, Ozzy. Happy birthday. Sunday, December 3rd, we've got the moon in fixed fire Leo, making a sextile aspect, which is a wonderful opportunity for romance to Venus at home in Libra. So the moon and Venus blending together in elements fire and air that mix very well and very supportively. Take advantage of this because Venus is getting ready to change signs, which I will get to. But on this Sunday, this is a really nice aspect to celebrate, have a party, be social, go out, date. Again, it's very romantic with the moon in Leo ruling over the heart and Venus very happy in her home sign of Venus in Libra. Sunday evening on the 3rd, depending on your time zone, the moon then changes and moves into mutable Earth Virgo. Now, when the moon moves into Virgo in the evening on the 3rd and then makes an opposition aspect to Saturn and Pisces, this is about getting very serious about doing the work. This week is about wrapping things up, completing things. And so Sunday evening, with this moon moving into Virgo, which pays attention to the details, wants to polish off a project, get things done. Virgo loves to work and is very practical, down to earth, and very precise as an earth sign. So this moon in the evening, right before we start the Monday work week, and making that opposition aspect to Saturn and Pisces, which can be dealing with avoidant addictive issues. Saturn and Pisces is saying we've got to pay attention and get the work done and not procrastinate. So this is Sunday evening on the 3rd with the moon now moving into Virgo, opposing Saturn, which does the work in the sign of Pisces. Monday, December 4th, the moon is now waning in light. We've got the 4th quarter moon at 12 degrees Virgo. And when we go from 4th quarter to new moon, the light of the moon is decreasing. Things aren't growing. It's time for completing certain things. The 12 degree Virgo brings in a Virgo Capricorn influence. That Capricorn influence in the 2nd division of Virgo is quite serious in its feel and its energy and quite realistic. So 4th quarter to new moon, the moon is not growing in light, it's decreasing in light, is how we are beginning the week as far as let's wrap this up, let's get this done. It's time to finish, complete something. Now, along with that, Venus now changes signs. She moves into her detriment, the sign of Scorpio. Venus going into the sign of Scorpio is when Venus is the furthest away from everything that she needs to function at her best. Venus is our sister planet. You cannot miss her, the jewel of the night sky, the queen of heaven, as the ancients called her. When Venus enters the domain, the territory of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, and we are in a week, a quarter of the moon, where it's time to end things. This is when certain relationships will fall away. This is where relationships with Venus and Scorpio being the sign of life, death, rebirth, transformation. Scorpio is things have to end. certain relationships, whether it's romantic, friendship, whatever it may be, with Venus going into her detriment, where she will be for most of December is saying goodbye. Again, Venus in the opposite sign of where she's at home. Venus is at home in Libra and in Taurus. So a love growing cold, relationships that have to end, is this Venus in Scorpio. Also, Venus has everything to do with the season we're in, which is the holidays, parties, spending money, pleasure, indulgence, all of the Venusian things in life that give us happiness and joy during the holiday season. The Venus in Scorpio is the energy of not going whole hog, not going way overboard if that is not what you want to do. If you want to do it, do your thing. But with Venus in Scorpio, this year, this month, December, you may be feeling with Venus in Scorpio that you don't want to overspend the same way, overindulge the same way. You may want a more private, quiet way of celebrating the holidays. Again, it's certainly up to you. Nothing in the sky is making you, forcing you to do anything you don't want to do. It's just that the Venus in Scorpio is putting a highlight on the fact that this December, you may not feel like going way whole hog overboard in how you celebrate the holiday season. For a lot of people, the holiday season brings up certain emotions, certain memories from the past about the holidays that can be quite emotional, upsetting. Venus in Scorpio. And so taking a break from the things that are too emotional for you during the holidays, this Venus in Scorpio is going to pay attention or connect, let's say, to the cosmos, to the energies where you may be feeling like just don't want to get into fights, battles all the time, but especially during the holiday season. This is Venus in Scorpio, meaning you don't have to pretend to be happy. You don't have to pretend to put on the show of the holidays if that's not what is truly what you want to do this year, this December, with Venus in Scorpio. Be true to yourself always. And if you are in a very jolly, happy, let's party kind of a mood, that's great. That's more of a Venus in Libra or a Venus in Taurus. But with this Venus in Scorpio, all through most of December, that feeling of wanting to just celebrate may not be there, especially when it brings in the potential of family conflict and fighting, which does tend to come up a lot in readings, at least with me, with my clients, where they don't want to deal with what getting together with certain people and family members brings up. It's totally up to you, but this is a part of the Venus in Scorpio. In other words, Venus is about the body, and Venus is laughter and happiness and pleasure. So when Venus is in her exile, she's the furthest away from her natural home placement. It basically means be really good to yourself during this holiday season. Try not to stress yourself out and allow things to upset you with Venus in Scorpio, which can be quite combative. Tuesday, December 5th, we have Venus in Scorpio making a water trine flow to Saturn in Pisces. This is an aspect of dealing with whatever addiction issues you may have to deal with. Mercury is about to go into its shadow storm cycle, meaning Mercury, the mind, slowing down before it enters its retrograde. Now the Sun is in fiery Sagittarius with Mars, which accomplishes things in the sign of Sagittarius. So the energy to get things done this week before we're full on in a Mercury retrograde, and with this Venus trine Saturn, which means let's take a look at and clear up the addiction avoidant issues here This is Tuesday, December 5th. Wednesday, December 6th, Neptune in Pisces, which is water, poisons, infection, oil, addictions. Neptune stations direct in the sign of Pisces. Neptune has been retrograde in Pisces. Now it's stationing direct. This supportive energy from the cosmos helps you out to see more or feel more clearly what addiction issues need to be dealt with. It's not always the obvious drugs and alcohol kind of addiction. There are many forms of addiction. People can be addicted to shopping, procrastination, too much clutter, whatever it is for you. This Neptune stationing direct on the 6th is supportive with helping you feel and see more clearly what addiction issues need to be dealt with and completed. The theme of this week is wrap it up, get things complete. It's not a time of adding in. This is a week of releasing and letting go with fourth quarter to new moon energy that we are in. Thursday, Jupiter's Day, we've got the Sun in Sagittarius making a fire trine flow to Chiron in Aries. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer, our place of great woundedness, but also a place of great healing. With the Sun trine Chiron in fire, this is seeing the light because fire illuminates. It shines a spotlight on something in the area of your life having to do with the truth of who and what you are. Aries says, I am. It's your true sense of self, your identity, what you want to express as a unique individual. With the Sun in Sagittarius making this fire trine flow to the sense and light of who and what you are, this is a greater expression, a greater awareness of what needs to be healed and what you want to shine your light on and in. Also, Mercury is in Capricorn making an earth trine flow to Jupiter in Taurus. Now, Jupiter, which is typically increase, is retrograde in Taurus, one of the money signs. Mercury in Capricorn is very realistic about where the money is being spent. Now, the Mercury trine Jupiter in Earth is making an assessment of the work, what you're earning, how you're investing, spending, all of the practical matters that have to do with finance. Friday, December 8th, the moon falls into the sign of fixed water Scorpio. The moon represents the emotional imprints that we have taken on and carry. The moon is the mother, the way we were nurtured and cared for. When the moon enters Scorpio, it's fall sign. Being very clear, feeling into what are you carrying emotional in your emotional body. This is the moon that was never yours to begin with. This week of releasing, as we are approaching the new moon, with the moon in Scorpio, this is saying enough is enough. I am no longer carrying the emotions of the mom, the caretaker, that were never yours to carry and be burdened with to begin with. The moon in astrology represents memories, the past, the subconscious. The moon shines in the nighttime. It's the shadow, the part of ourselves that we do not see unless we make a strong effort to become more aware. So this is a wonderful time and cycle of the moon, fourth quarter to new moon, to go within and reflect on what are the negative memories and imprints that you're finally going to release and say goodbye to. And yes, I know it is much more easier said than done, because the moon and the subconscious is a memory bank. It's the imprint. It's the subconscious drives and motivations that we are not aware of until we try to make the effort to become aware of them. Saturday, December 9th, Mercury now enters its storm shadow cycle, moving less than 40 minutes of arc per day. Mercury is now slowing down before the retrograde. And so with this Mercury entering its storm, complete what you need to complete for this week. The moon is still in Scorpio, and the moon in Scorpio makes a conjunction to Venus in Scorpio, her detriment. So we've got the moon in its fall, Venus in her detriment. Ever notice in life what kind of person or people you attract into your life when you're not feeling great about yourself, when you're depressed, when you're down, when you're just not in a good, balanced emotional space? Well, this moon conjunct Venus in Scorpio is be aware of what you may be attracting in and or saying yes to, especially in the area of romance and sex. Scorpio rules over sexuality, with the moon in its fall making a conjunction to Venus in Scorpio. Just say no, it's not worth it. Then the moon in Scorpio makes an opposition to Jupiter in Taurus, which wants to go way overboard and then some, emotionally and physically. The moon in Scorpio makes a sextile aspect to Mercury in Capricorn. That might give you somewhat of a grounded, common sense, realistic look at what you're about to buy, let's say. And then Venus in Scorpio makes an opposition to Jupiter in Taurus. This really is, with these energies, it is a weekend to be very careful, to say the least, and check yourself. Say no, do not say yes with these aspects. With these aspects over the weekend, especially on the 9th, being seduced into a money deal, a romantic deal, any kind of situation where it will ultimately not be to your benefit because emotionally you're just not in the right place. Consider this as a gift from the cosmos that just wants to highlight for you where you are at and the decisions you are about to make that could impact not only your life, but Scorpio is a merged money sign. The moon in astrology is an appetite. It's about acquisition. You wouldn't want to have to deal with buyer's remorse with the moon in Scorpio and Venus in her detriment in Scorpio, because when we are emotionally or any other way out of balance, the tendency is to look outside and want to get something or acquire something. This is the moon that we believe and feel will make us feel better. And when it's involved with the moon, we try to get something that we feel will make us feel safe. This is the moon wanting and always needing to feel safety and comfort. This cycle of the moon is not about getting something from the outside. It's about knowing your feelings and where and how you may be out of balance and going within and knowing and finding that you have the power within. You have all of the resources inside of you to bring into balance your feelings, your emotions, all of it. You have the power always. You are born with it. So reaching out and trying to grab onto something, if you're feeling this way with these cosmic energies this week, fourth quarter to new moon, and there is a lot going on this week, energetically, meaning astrologically, go within first. If you do nothing else, go within first before you make an overboard final decision about something. Thank you, everyone, for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. I will see you all in the stars.